Hi, good morning, loved ones. It is almost 7 a.m. where I am here in Natal, Brazil. I just spent 5 months in Colombia and I got to Brazil about a month ago. A month? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? About 3 weeks ago. I'm still kind of sleepy, but I'm starting my day with you. So today's idioms are going to focus on feelings, emotions, and reactions. Okay? And bear with me, I've got my list here, things I printed out a long time ago, and I'm finally doing this. So, feelings, emotions, and reactions. So, the first idiom would be to bare your heart or soul to someone. If you bare your heart or soul to someone, you reveal your innermost thoughts and feelings to them. Like if I'm going to bare my heart to my best friend, it's like I'm going to tell her the most personal things about what's going on. Or my boyfriend bared his heart to me, like he just poured his heart out. It's another idiom. When you share the innermost personal things to you, to someone. The next idiom would be related to books. An open book. If someone is an open book, that means that, literally, what would it mean if you're an open book? Like, nothing's hidden. You can read anything. It means they're very transparent. They're very open. I often tell my students, what do you want to know about me? My life's an open book. An open book. If you describe someone as an open book, you find it easy to know what they are thinking and feeling. Nothing is hidden. We could immediately see she was delighted with the proposal. Her face was an open book. Now, the next idiom is also related to books. To read someone like a book. If you can read someone like a book, you are able to understand easily what they are thinking or feeling. Eva has been my best friend since we were children. I can read her like a book. Yeah, I often hear that when you really know someone well or you read people very well. I read her like a book. Or I read his reaction like a book. Okay, the next idiom I think we should do to have a chip on your shoulder. To have a chip on your shoulder. If someone has a chip on their shoulder, that means they have resentfulness about something. They feel resentful for whatever reason, but this official definition says because they feel they are being treated unfairly, especially because of their background, their sex, or their color. But I can tell you that's not necessarily true. At least from where I'm from in Oklahoma, if someone has a chip on their shoulder, it can be for whatever reason. They're angry that something is unfair. Even if that traffic didn't go well. I've got a chip on my shoulder today. I've got an attitude. Close to home. Close to home. Obviously, you probably know close to home could literally mean geographically in proximity of geographic location, that I am not far away from home, I'm close to home. However, this is an idiom, so of course it doesn't mean that literally in this context. Close to home, if a remark or comment is close to home, it is so true, or it affects you so directly that you feel uncomfortable. The sentence example that they give is, Alan looks embarrassed. Bob's comment must have been close to home. I know I was teaching English on Cambly a couple of weeks ago. I'm also a Cambly tutor, an English tutor on Cambly, Cambly.com. And a couple of weeks ago, my student was talking about her cat and how her cat was sick. And she was scared they were going to have to take her cat to the vet to put her cat to sleep, to euthanize her. She was old and she was sick. And that really hit close to home for me because just yesterday was the year anniversary that I took my 19-year-old cat to the vet for the last time. And like it just really, I started crying right in the middle of class. I was like, oh, you have a cat? And I was like, I'm sorry. I was just having a bad day and I was really feeling the emotions of that, but close to home. That's what that means. Cut to the quick. Cut to the quick. Okay, think about how to explain this. This says, cut to the quick. If you cut someone to the quick, you hurt their feelings or offend them deeply. Okay, but do you know what quick is? Okay, yes, quick it can be an adverb, quickly, or an adjective, quick, something that's fast. But quick can also be a noun. I don't know that you've ever heard it used this way. Quick is the space on your fingernail that has blood under it, right? And then, of course, I have fake nails. But the quick is the part that, like, if you cut your regular fingernails with nail trimmers, if you cut down too far, you'll cut the quick, which means you get underneath the nail bed, and that's where it hurts. There's nerve endings, and there's blood and tissue under there. Okay? So if you cut someone to the quick, it means maybe you say something that's a little too personal that you hurt their feelings. You go a little too deep, and you hurt them. Alan was cut to the quick when Joe expressed doubt about his sincerity. Does that make sense, guys? Please always post your questions, or if you want to use these in an example, I really challenge you to do that in the comments underneath. I think that you should use them as an example to practice, show other students your examples. Also, if you have questions, if you're like, oh, that really didn't make sense, like with a certain one, ask. Be the CEO of your learning experience. Okay? Take control of it, be in charge of it, be passionate about it, make it happen. So, okay. Deep down, if you talk about how someone is or feels deep down, you are describing what they are like or what they really feel deep inside, beyond the outward appearance. Funny example. I haven't had much coffee yet, so I forgive me for what may come out of my mouth, but you could say, like, deep down, I think that she's a really nice person. But her anger at the surface really portrays something else. Okay. Oh, this is funny. To come apart at the seams. Come apart at the seams. What time is it? 8:24. To say someone is coming apart at the seams means that they are extremely upset or under severe mental stress. Okay, for example, guys, looking at my shirt. Do you see this line? This is stitching. This is where the shirt is sewn together. This is also called a seam. Seam, not like the verb, like it seems like it's going to be a good day. No, not like the verb. The verb is spelled S-E-E-M. The noun in this regard is called a seam, S-E-A-M. So in this idiom, if someone is coming apart at the seams, you can imagine like a piece of clothing, if it's coming apart at the seams, it's falling apart. Someone's having a mental breakdown. Someone's having a very, very bad day. She's coming apart at the seams. It means she was going a little crazy. Does that make sense? Okay. How about beside yourself with emotion? If you're beside yourself with emotion, you lose your self-control because of the intensity of the emotion that you are feeling. He was beside himself with grief when he lost his son. Now, you can be beside yourself with sadness, with grief, with anger, but also enjoy. It's also positive. You can be, I was beside myself with joy that my best friend is getting married, or I got a promotion, or that Argentina won the World Cup yesterday. Yeah! I was beside myself. I mean, that's not true. I wasn't beside myself. I really don't care. But I was happy for Argentina. I was rooting for them. I was in here working on YouTube. I do have a TV, but I don't turn it on. I don't watch TV. But my neighbors, I'm in Brazil. Brazilians are soccer fanatics. So I heard fireworks and partying and horns going off and everything else. I was like, I think Argentina won. So, to be beside yourself with emotion. My neighbors were besides themselves with emotion that Argentina won the World Cup. Beside yourself. If you're bored to tears. Bored to tears. Now, don't forget that bored, B-O-R-E-D, we use to describe as an emotion. Okay? But boring, I-N-G, is used to describe experiences or situations. Okay? This is one of the most common mistakes with my students. Bored, boring. Bored to tears. If you find something so dull and uninteresting that it makes you sad enough to cry, you are bored to tears. I could see that my son was bored to tears by the historical documentary. I could say, my math, I was bored to tears in my math class because my teacher was monotone. Do you know what monotone means? Mono meaning one, tone meaning the tone of voice that you speak. So if something is monotone, it speaks with the same frequency and it never has a difference in the tone that it uses. That's monotone because you're using one tone while you speak. And so I could say I was bored to tears in my math class because my teacher was monotone and I was sleepy after lunch. Bored to tears. How's everybody doing? Oh, like a fish out of water. Like a fish out of water. If you feel like a fish out of water, you feel uncomfortable in unfamiliar surroundings. Like, sometimes I feel like a fish out of water. Like, oftentimes, I'm a foreigner living in different countries. I'm a white woman, I'm American, and I live with local communities who are in Colombia, Ecuador. I mean, they speak different languages. So imagine if a fish is in water, it's super happy and comfortable where it's at, right? It's in its element. But if a fish is out of water, as a non-golfer, I felt like a fish out of water at the clubhouse. Okay, there we go. We're at 13 minutes. How's everybody doing today? Are you drinking your coffee? I'm about to go get some coffee. How about to go bananas? To go bananas. If someone becomes very emotional and starts behaving in a crazy way, they go bananas. If you announce that you are going to drop out of school, your parents will go bananas. Yes. My neighbors were going bananas yesterday over the game. Okay, how about guilty pleasure? Guilty pleasure. When you enjoy something which is not generally held in high regard, while at the same time feeling a bit guilty about it, it's called a guilty pleasure. Like maybe you love to read gossip magazines. Gossip magazines are my guilty pleasure. Or maybe a Netflix series that is controversial with a social perspective on it, my guilty pleasure. For example, reading gossip magazines is a guilty pleasure for many women and some men too. Like a gossip magazine doesn't really have anything of high It's not good for you. It doesn't have nutritional value from a knowledge standpoint or from a mental, spiritual, demographic, informational standpoint. But it's something that, like guilty pleasure, like for example, maybe mint chocolate chip ice cream is my guilty pleasure. At night, whenever, this is not true for me. I do love it, but this example, somebody's outside working. Sorry about the noise. But for example, I could say at night when my husband and my kids and everyone goes to bed, my guilty pleasure is getting out the whole tub of ice cream from the freezer and watching my favorite gossip TV. I record them like nobody knows. It's my guilty pleasure. And I eat my ice cream and I watch my gossip channel or my women's gossip TV show on Netflix. Guilty pleasure. Let's do like maybe 2 more and then shut this video off. Head over heels in love with someone. Head over heels in love. When a person falls passionately in love with another, they are said to be head over heels in love. Okay? Head. Do you know what heel means? I'll show you. Heel, not H-E-A-L, that's a verb, but heel, H-E-E-L. Heel is this part of your foot. Okay? This is the arch. This is heel. So if you're head over heels in love, you're going like boom, 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 boom. It means that you are crazy, like passionately in love with someone. I fell head over heels in love with my last boyfriend, and it broke my heart that we had to go our separate ways. I thought that he couldn't have been my husband. Oh well. Tony's only interest at the moment is Maria. He's head over heels in love with her. You could also say that you're head over heels in love with your new baby. If you have a baby, you could say, I am head over heels in love with this new baby. You can also say that about like a cat or an animal, because I'm a big cat lover. So I could say, oh, I am head over heels in love with my neighbor's cat. You could say that. If you're passionately in love. You could say that with your job. Could you say that with your job? I'm head over heels in love with my new job. Yeah, you could. You could. A change of heart. If someone has a change of heart, they change their attitude or feelings, especially towards greater friendliness or cooperation. He was against charity, but he had a change of heart when he saw the plight of the homeless. Like maybe if at work, your work team wants changes or needs changes with something, but your boss is not seeing that. And you guys have all expressed your interest or your need in this thing changing. You could say, we all hope that my boss has a change of heart so that, it's like a change of heart to go from here to here. Maybe right now I'm in Brazil. I'm going to be in Brazil for 6 months. Inshallah, I hope. Okay? Well, I have friends in Colombia and Ecuador and Argentina. I don't know where I'm going next. I think I'm going to work my way down into Uruguay and then go into Argentina before coming back up through South America. But my friends up here in Colombia are hoping that I have a change of heart, because they don't want to wait a year or 2 years to see me again until I get all the way up here. They want to see me now. They want me to come back now. So I don't know if that is clear. Okay, I think that this is good for this video. It's pretty long, but I had there were so many about this topic that I wanted to make like 3 or 4 longer videos. Okay, so if you have questions or you want to use these as examples, post in the comments. I welcome that. Maybe another student can help you. I'm happy to chime in and help you when I see it. Sometimes I'll be traveling and I won't be able to be here and engaged with it all. But the ones that really resonated with you, that you were like, oh, that makes so much sense. Oh, I love that idiom. Please write it down. Write it down and hang it in places that you can see. Multiple times a day, every day in your personal spaces, because that is going to help ingrain. If you watch this video and then you listen, you're listening to this, and then you also write it down. You are ingraining the process with you with fluency, and those new words and phrases are going to be that much closer in your cognitive process. And then if you also see it in your personal space, hang it on the wall, hang it on the door, hang it on the bathroom mirror, hang it on your closet door, or have a special space in your room that you, or your office, wherever it is, that you hang up things. Make it an intention. And then you see it. And then you can just practice saying it. Every time you see it, say it out loud. Don't worry about who's listening. Don't worry about if you say it right. Don't worry about your accent. Don't worry about anything. Say it out loud. Practice using it in a spare sentence. Okay? And that is how you acquire fluency. Okay, guys, I'm going to make another video. I hope that everybody has an amazing day. Peace and prosperity to you. Ciao.